Hi, it's Mindy from Meatless Monday Everyday. Today we're going to be making garlic sriracha noodles. I've adapted this recipe slightly from the Bad Manners website, formerly known as Thug Kitchen. I find there's a lot of really good recipes that they come up with. We have a couple of their cookbooks, and pretty much anything we've tried out of there has been pretty good. So this is going to be a new one for us tonight. So what you're going to need, this is kind of a three-part recipe, but it's really easy. The first part is going to be your sriracha sauce. And what you're going to need is a 1/4 cup of tahini paste. And what that is, it's sesame seed paste. You use it to make hummus, and you use it in some sorts of sauces. If you don't happen to have tahini paste, you can use peanut butter, but you need 1/4 cup. You also will need 3 tablespoons of water. You're going to need 2 to 3 tablespoons of sriracha sauce, depending on how spicy you like things. I just realized we are just about out, so I hope we have enough in here to get the full 3 tablespoons. I don't think I do, but we'll make it work. You are going to need 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce, vegan oyster sauce if you want, or you can use soy sauce, which is what I'm going to do. And you'll need a tablespoon of olive oil, juice of 1 lime, and a little bit of sugar. Now that's going to be for the sauce. What else you're going to need are noodles, cooked spaghetti noodles. I've got those cooking right now. The recipe calls for 16 ounces, which is about one of the small boxes. You also need about 6 cups of rough cut broccolini. When I ordered our groceries last week, they did not have broccolini, so I just got regular broccoli. It will be just as good, I'm sure. You need a 1/4 cup of chopped onion or a shallot. I went with red onion because it's what I had. And then you need 1 cup of shelled frozen edamame. The only edamame we have has shells, and I really like it that way, so I opted to go with frozen peas instead. Again, just work with what you have, it's all good. You'll need soy sauce again, and you'll need something called nooch, or nutritional yeast. It's really common in a lot of vegetarian and vegan cooking. It gives kind of almost a cheesy flavor to things. It's a powder. You can buy it at any grocery store. We use it in a lot of soups. So I happen to have Bob's Red Mill nutritional yeast, and it's just kind of yellowish. It almost looks like mashed potato flakes, but it has an almost kind of smoky, cheesy smell to it. So you'll need a little bit of nooch, which once you get it, you'll find a lot of things to use it in. Like I said, it comes in a lot of recipes, or I find it used in a lot of recipes. You'll find it in a lot of the Thug Kitchen or now Bad Manners recipes too. So, what I've got going on right now, we've got the noodles cooking. They need about 5 more minutes. So while those cook, I'm going to make the sriracha sauce. So I'm going to make that right in this bowl here. And to start, you need a 1/4 cup of the tahini or that peanut butter. So if you're using tahini, make sure to shake it up really well. It can settle. So here's my 1/4 cup. Pour that in here. I should get a little whisk or something. A little spatula. There we go. And I don't know if you guys can see out of the kitchen window here, but it is actually snowing here today. I'm not happy about it. It's not even Halloween yet, and we already are snowing, but that unfortunately is Wisconsin, so what can you do? I'm gonna go get 3 tablespoons of water. I just hope the snow gets out of the way now, and then we don't have to deal with it actually on Halloween, because I like to sit outside, I like to have a fire, I like to enjoy my Halloweens outside. Alright, so then we need 2 to 3 tablespoons of sriracha. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to have enough, so I am just going to put in everything that's in here. Had I been thinking, I would have put the 3 tablespoons of water in this jar and shook it around. still might end up putting a little water in just to try to get the most out of this. And we need to add this to the grocery list. All right, so I put a little water in just to try to get the remnants of the sriracha sauce out of this jar. There we go. So that helps just kind of clear the residuals and get them out. Perfect. Now I think we have enough. All right. Then we are going to take 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. So I do not have oyster sauce. There's 1, 2, 3 of those. And let's see what else. Oh, a tablespoon of olive oil. And then the juice of a lime. Now, I've got tiny limes, but I'm going to actually juice it in this cup in case any seeds fall out. I can pull them out. And one did. There's a little seed. Dump that in, and then I'll take the other half. Seed popped out in that one too. I mean, if you had a citrus juicer, that probably would avoid all of these issues, but I don't. So we're just squeezing it. All right, there's the rest of the lime juice. And then we need a pinch of sugar. So since I have lime juice in my hands, I'm just going to grab a little spoon and get a little bit of sugar. Dump that in. Blend up the sauce. It smells really good. It smells sriracha and that really good sesame scent from the tahini paste. Alright, so the sauce is ready. Looks like the noodles are just about ready as well. Once these noodles are cooked, what I'm going to do is throw a pan on the stove. Then what we're going to do is start to cook the onions or shallot, depending on what you're using, the broccoli, and the peas. Once that's all cooked, we'll remove all of the vegetables from the pan. Then we'll throw the cooked noodles back in with the sauce, and we'll get that nice and flavored and seasoned. Just about 1 minute. Throwing the noodles in the colander, so I will get out our wok. Sorry, it's gonna be loud. Alright, there we go. Alright, so just kind of got the colander in the sink all ready. You don't need to rinse the noodles or anything, just dump them out. Since I don't need this pan anymore, I'm just going to leave it right there, and then I'm just going to pop the wok right on, but I'm going to turn the heat down, I think to about medium. Warm up the olive oil and cook the broccoli. All right. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil into the pan. Let that get warmed up for a minute, and then we're actually going to throw the shallot or the onion in first. Just kind of breaking this up. Once we put that in there, we're going to add the broccoli. So we'll put the onions in for about 1 to 2 minutes. Then we'll add the broccoli and cook that for about 3 more minutes. Then we're going to dump on top of that about a tablespoon of soy sauce or the oyster sauce if that's what you're using. And right at the tail end, we're going to throw in the frozen peas, and we'll just have those in there just cooking long enough to heat them up. So once this is all cooked, The vegetables will take, I think that totals about 7 minutes worth of cooking. We're going to dump the vegetables out of the pan and dump the noodles back in. So here we'll cook the onion. Sometimes I set the timer even though it's just a minute or two because you lose track. So that's starting. Alright, so here the onions are starting to cook. So I know Bad Manners recently went and underwent a name change. It used to be called The Kitchen, and with the climate of the world today, they decided to change the name to Bad Manners. They meant no offense. Nothing was intended to be hurtful with their name, but they just wanted to give it a change for the good. So sometimes if I call it The Kitchen, I'm sorry, it's what I was used to, but I'm really going to try to refer to it as Bad Manners. And if you don't have any of their cookbooks and you're looking for really flavorful, tasty, but pretty easy recipes, The Kitchen or Bad Manners is a really good option. One of the things I like about them too is they don't usually require an extensive grocery list. It's all pretty simple things, something that you're just going to probably have around your house. And if you don't have it around your house, it's something that you'll use frequently, like the nooch. They use it in recipes, but they use it in a lot of their recipes. So it's one of those where you're not buying a single random ingredient to cook one recipe for that you're not going to use again. Alright. So the broccoli's in. That'll start cooking down. It'll get up to a nice bright green when it really starts to get cooked. So I put the timer on for 2 minutes. That's a good time, I think, just to get it sauteed, get it cooked, get it flavored. Stir it up a little bit more to make sure that the broccoli is hitting the pan and not just the onions anymore. Alright, so the broccoli is getting nice and crispy. Not really crispy in there, but nice and cooked. So in about a minute or two, we're going to add in the soy sauce, then the peas or shelled edamame, depending on what you have. We usually try to buy the edamame in shells, just because we really like steaming it, salting it, and eating it that way. But every now and again, I get it shelled as well, frozen. It tastes good. The kids like it, so you can't go wrong with that, right? So the broccoli's getting nice and bright. Smells really good. Alright, it's just about time to dump the soy sauce in. So once we've dumped that in, we'll cook it for about another minute. And then we will add in the frozen peas. Alright, so when your broccoli mixture is cooked, you're going to take it, dump it out from the pan into a bowl, and you're not going to rinse out your pan. You want to use that nice flavored skillet to cook the noodles in for the next part. So don't rinse your pan and don't switch your pan, okay? So plan a little bit ahead. Make the pan big enough that it fits your noodles. Alright. So we got about 30 seconds left on that. Just going to give our sauce a stir. It's a really pretty color. It's almost terracotta-ish. Alright. Alright, so once we empty out the vegetables, we're going to put a little bit more olive oil in the pan, and we're going to add minced garlic. You're going to want to use about 6 to 7 cloves of garlic. Alright. add about another tablespoon of olive oil. Let that heat up for a minute. All right, so once that heats up, we're going to add the 6 to 7 cloves of minced garlic. Because garlic is good, right? All right, so the garlic's in there. That's heating up. We're going to let that cook for about 30 seconds until the garlic starts to really heat up. Then we're going to put the noodles into the pan. We're going to then add that sauce we made in the beginning. And where that nutritional yeast comes in is once the noodles have cooked in the garlic, you've put on the sauce, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of that nooch on there. All right, so we're dumping the noodles back in. And stir them around to get them nice and coated in the garlic. Nice and coated. They're getting coated in the garlic and the olive oil. And breaking them apart too. Alright, so you can hear that sizzling in there. That's the noodles cooking with the garlic. Now we're going to take that sriracha sauce mix that we made. We're going to dump that in there. Stir it up so all the noodles get a nice coating. Alright, I'm stirring it just a little extra to make sure all the noodles get a little bit of the sauce on, which now they're all nice and coated. So what we're going to do now, if you find that the sauce got a little too thick, you can add water just to kind of thin it out to make sure it coats the noodles. I didn't need to, but if it seems a little thick, like it's not spreading, add a little bit of water. All right, so what we're going to do now is sprinkle about 2 tablespoons of that nutritional yeast on the top. Alright, one thing I've noticed about this too is a little goes a long way. So if it seems like 2 tablespoons, you wouldn't think it'd give it a lot of flavor. It really does. Alright, so we're going to turn off the heat. We're going to plate everything up then. So I got these bowls, we'll put the noodles in first, and then the vegetable mixture on the top. As well. Alright. So here you have it. This is going to be the garlic sriracha noodles. Oh, I almost forgot little sesame seeds for the top. If you enjoyed the video or found it interesting or even thought maybe it's a recipe you'd like to make, feel free to like the video, or even if you're feeling feisty, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.